Welcome to the show, Mr. Samoya.
Thank you, Kwame.
It's always nice having Mr. Samoya here. Today we are going to talk about his first book and his last book, Kente Cloth Introduction to History. That's the first book of Mr. Samoya. It was published in 1993.
Oh, yeah, dear.
Kente Cloth Introduction to History. And this is Kente Cloth History and Culture. Kente Cloth History and Culture. This was published in 2016. This is the last book of Mr. Samoya. Hopefully we're going to see another book from Mr. Samoya. So, sir, what engineered you to write this book, Kente Cloth? Because I haven't seen any book about the Kente Cloth. Why Kente Cloth?
Yeah, Kwame, that's a good question. The 2 points in that question engineered me to write that book, and why Kente Cloth. Nothing engineered me to write book. By engineering, interpreting, it means a whole lot. But what caused me to write the book is my ignorance of the topic Kente Cloth. Most Ghanaians or most Africans, if you ask them this word Kente Cloth, they will give you several explanations, and whatever they have heard about is what they will tell you. I knew nothing, or should I say I knew very little about Kente Cloth prior to 1992. But in America, there comes a time when you gotta do what you gotta do. As long as it is lucrative, and as long as it makes you an American. I was running an African outfit, African shop in Queens, Cambria Heights, 219 and Linden Boulevard. And there were so many questions from the public asking me, what is this? Who made that? Where does it come from? Any significance? But so many of them. Kente Cloth was one of the African products that I was selling in my shop. I had a business called Vietnam Textiles, and also EJ Trading. EJ means Ernest Juliana Asamoah Trading, and I had established 2 companies. And one major question which I failed to answer, which I think was very shameful as an Ashanti, was not able to define Kente Cloth or tell my customers what the cloth means. I felt so embarrassed. So I started to ask questions, started to research on material, and hoping to get knowledge which I can transfer to people who are questioning me. So it took me to a whole lot of places, libraries, and asking Ghanaians, the elderly, the embassy. I ended up having to travel to Ghana. I had to come here, I think 1992, 91. I had to go to Bomwiri and the villages like Wono and so forth and ask questions. Now, one thing, Kwame, I hope you note this from me. In my speeches, I always keep saying, asking questions.
Because you're a curious person.
That is the only way any human being can learn.
Yeah, you ask questions to learn.
You have to ask questions. Don't think you know. You'll be shocked what you think you know when you ask questions and the answers you get. Never stop asking questions. It makes you better. So I came to Bomwiri to do a research. I went to Kumasi Library to ask questions. I had more than 24 books written by Africans, by Europeans, by Americans. And I wanted to know something about Kente cloth. So initially I got information and I said, hey man, I gotta put it down. Because a customer comes, you tell him, I make some pamphlets or leaflets and attach it to materials that I'm selling in the shop. And people were so fascinated. I was telling the stories of everything, everything African, not just Ghanaian though. Ivory Coast, Senegal, Gambia. I was collecting
Botswana.
Yes, Guinea, Botswana. I was collecting all these African products, and one of them is this Kente cloth, and I thought, well, this is an Ashanti. First of all, I thought it was from Ever, and my search ended up there. Whoa, it is not Ever. The Evers are one of the African fabrics. You have every cultural group in Africa or in the world that has created a material for its cultural use.
Material.
Well, it was woven, all of them woven, whether machine or hand woven, it's woven as you're saying. We have the Scottish kilt, we have the Japanese, I've forgotten the name, I think it's Kyoto or something like that. You know, all cultures had their own fabrics.
That represent their image.
That represent the image of that culture. There are similarities and differences and equalities, you know. But when you go details into each one, you see that each one is completely different. What I came to find out is that Kente cloth is purely Ashanti. But there are other cultures in Africa who manufacture or who weave the same type of
something similar.
Something similar. So, in short, I collected or I documented Kente per se, and I want the public to know the information I have collected. And also I found that there were about 3 books published by Americans and 1 European, 2 Americans and 1 European, English people, who have also written about Kente cloth. Incidentally, there was another book by a German woman.
So let me come in here.
Yeah.
You mean foreigners had written books on Kente?
Yes.
Whilst no Ghanaian had written something?
No Ghanaian had written. My search at Cultural Center, I went to the library there, Ashanti Central Library. I did not find a single book written by a black person, not just Ashanti.
Not even a Ghanaian?
Not even a Ghanaian. I was shocked.
This is astonishing.
This 1990s when I started searching. And even up to now, just about 1 or 2 books have come out. So when you read things I have written, you know that I want to find out facts and bring the facts out and share with others, you know. I'm not just making it. I think someone should do it. In fact, this little book here, I have written somewhere that I think it's the, about the author. I've written something at the back here that I thought someone should write about Kente cloth. And I see that I'm not entitled to write. But those who are entitled...
Or you were forced to write.
Those who are entitled are not writing it. So I'm
therefore
writing.
I'm going to write it.
You know?
Wow, this is serious.
No, seriously. There are so many things.
Because this Kente cloth has been in existence for centuries.
For centuries.
And there's no record of Kente cloth.
And I don't know why. You know, when I talk of black persons' lack of critical thinking, I have my reasons.
Now we're going to the most by nature.
Well, let's concentrate on this. So in a nutshell, I came out with this little book. It's only, it was originally 125 books, 125 pages, but it's less than that now.
It's not 90 something.
Yeah.
So when you came to Ghana, you started touring the whole Ghana, or was it the Ashanti origin just to collect all
I
the facts?
first went to Export Promotion Council. The office was opposite GNTC, Accra, Export Promotion Council. It was headed by Akwasi Ahoy. Yeah, now Minister of
He's a politician in DC.
Yeah, I met him one-on-one and told him that I've had a shop in America and I'm selling Kente cloth and African products and I need information about Kente. And he referred me to Ever. He connected me to a family group in Ever called Gobatenge Weavers, and I had connection with this guy.
And this is in the Volta region?
The Volta region, yeah. So I had gone there and spoken with weavers out there. And then came to Bombiri, and I was amazed what was revealed to me. So, in short, what I found is that it is a very curious material. And there was one German lady, Menzel. Menzel wrote a book in 1972. A German woman, she spent 5 years at Bombiri to live with them, to see how they produce the raw material, how they weave, the loom, and everything about Kente cloth. During that 5 years, he went to Gambia to study Gambia weaving. She went to Senegal, and she did excellent work and did a very good comparative weaving products, showing that there's a difference between Kente cloth of the Ashantis and a similar cloth woven in Gambia and also by the Elvis. Very similar, not the same. And she said to mix the two or the three is a terrible mistake. I read some histories. We have some authorities, I can't recollect their names now. The age, it's terrible.
I know.
75 years, man, it's so crazy. You forget so much things. And a whole lot of information came to light. And I said, okay, now I'm going to write what I think is the truth. So this little book came out. I didn't even know how to call it. I know it wasn't a complete history. It was a story of Kente. But then I talked with American friends, American black friends, and they said, well, how about an introduction to the history of the cloth? Okay. Meaning that the history will come
later on.
Yeah. So came this.
So that's when this came.
Yeah, so that's the result of this book. 1992 is the first publication, reprinted 1993. Now, in the year 2008, I wanted to bring it out, but it was a big problem because of the money involved.
Yeah, because you can look at it, it's a very colorful book, it has a lot of pictures.
Yeah, this came out only 3 months ago, 2007. 2007, I'm sorry, yeah. So, I have some knowledge of the cloth, and it is interesting also to know that we have 3 major books written by white people. Foreigners, yeah. I'm saying white because they are not just foreigners. They
are from a different race.
Different race of people.
And looking at how important this cloth is, and we couldn't recognize that.
One book is called Kente the Magnificent. One is called the Majestic Cloth. And
honestly, it is a majestic cloth though.
I think it is more than majesty. Look at that. I mean, it is immaculate. When you are dressed like this, you feel good. I feel so great. Anytime I put on Kente clothes, I feel different. I feel
you are somewhere else. That's what you feel somewhere else.
I think I'm a riddle. Yeah.
So you came to Ghana and there were a lot of myths concerning the Kente cloth, the history of it. Take us through the myth that you encountered in Ghana.
The myth and the history.
Yeah, the myth about the history of the Kente cloth.
Okay, listeners, we have a limited time to present this, so I have to brief everything unless, if you have time, Get a copy of the book from Amazon Books or Google or Yahoo, or just Asamoah. Or my publishing house is Ex Libris. Ex
That's a
Libris.
xylophone.
Yeah, Ex Libris Publishing. Or just Asamoah Books. You see all my books out there. And now, the story of the Kente comes in three forms. One is the myth, two is the oral history, and the third one is the written part. That is, some individuals have collected some information and put them down in written form. And the myth about this cloth is that its history is that there were two hunters, Obani Krogu and friends. They went to bush, and normally hunting is done in the night.
In the night,
so,
yeah.
This guy saw a spider weaving the spider web, and they decided to copy it, and that was the beginning. They studied how the spider was weaving the web.
You mean the patterns?
Patterns, yeah. And they came home to create equipment to do the same thing. Personally, I think this is a myth because they had formal information or knowledge of how to weave, but the spider's process was a little different. It was a little puzzling to them. How a spider, a little creature like this, can produce fiber from its abdomen, and literally all the
work.
Yeah, and it was this exciting. I tried to follow. I have a spider web in my compound here. There's a spider who is woven a web on my avocado tree. Every morning I go to watch it and say, "No, this is something interesting." I'm a curious person.
Mm-hmm.
So the myth has some truth in it, and it helps to understand the whole thing. But fundamentally, the people needed cloth. Human beings need to cover the private parts. That's why every group or cultural group attempt to find a way to make material to cover the private part or the human body effectively against anything that threatens the skin or the life. So the Ashantis had their own version, and it used to be called Ayasin Tuma.
Okay.
Yeah, they
Just for the private part.
Well, no, not necessarily. They had the threads.
Okay.
They make the yarns, threads, and they put a purge, 1 or 2 or 3 purges, and they put the yarns around it, and the other end of the yarn is tied to the waist, and they're sitting down, and they have some pieces of thread. They put it here, turn it back, and put it this way, and through that process they were able to weave material,
Okay.
cloth.
Okay.
But they perfected it after seeing that there was a need for mass production. So they built a machine, a loom with wood. They still use wooden looms to weave them. So they improve it and use the loom to weave it. If you go to Bongre now, you see that a lot of weavers are using the looms, locally manufactured machines, to weave them.
Do you think Bongre called the home of Kente? Do you think it's the truth? Do you think the Kente cloth started from Bongre?
Yes, not just Bongre. There are about 7 villages around Bongre. Wono and I've forgotten the rest. All the villages around there, the people around there are in tune to weaving cloth this way. And the difference between Bongwiri per se cloths and other cloth woven in Ashanti areas or in other cultures, the difference is that the Bongwiri weavers weave cloths in blocks.
Okay.
Blocks like here, if you look at this is a block. Every white, between the white,
There's a block, yeah.
there's a block of designs.
Okay.
In, yeah.
So this kind of attributed to the Bongwiri people. Whenever you see the blocks,
This is
okay.
the exclusive nature of Bongwiri's cloth. And also, if you look at the back of this cloth, it is perfectly identical. Both front and back are exactly identical.
Yes.
It takes a professional weaver to tell the front and the back.
Takes the original home.
Yes.
The original home.
Yeah, there's a front and back, but even that, it takes the professional. Not everybody can tell, but you could see it's exactly the same, both front and back.
Yeah.
That, incidentally, is the greatest difference between Ashanti Bongwiri cloth and any other cloth, especially the Eves. Eves cloth, the front and back are different. Traditional ones. Now they're copying the Ashantis and every others to make the front and back the same. It is not their traditional woven method.
Okay. So any Ashanti could differentiate between the Eves and the Ashantis if only they are familiar with the cloth.
Yes, not any Ashanti.
Any Ashanti
who is familiar with would know the difference. So I came out with all of this and I said, well, yeah, why don't you write it down? You know, this is the first time you got this, and there are millions out there who don't know it.
So why did it become so significant to the Ashanti kingdom? The cloth became so majestic to the Ashanti kingdom.
Well, that is a big question. I'm going to answer that very simply. Because of the cost involved, that is, you have to get a yarn, process them into several colors, dry them, and then line them horizontally, and then find a way to use another type of thread vertically to weave this thing in between. It is very expensive. It takes more time and a lot of money. And it is only the aristocracy at the time who were capable of financing such projects. The chiefs or the kings or the people who have the means to order a particular cloth for the weaver to be able to get the thread, the color, and everything, the technology to do it. So it was essentially an aristocratic material. You and I, who are not close to those areas,
royalty.
Yeah, we were not part of the consumers of this material. So what these people actually did was the original creators of this cloth. What they did was they tried to create a design and then give it a name. And this design, you see, this one is an abstract.
Yeah.
It's just an abstract, but they give it a name. If you look at it closely, you see that this green part, yellow and black, are just straight, you know?
It is.
And if you compare this and that down here, you see that it is like the green being halved.
Yeah.
And one half is made yellow.
Yeah.
So the same size, only that it is being...
And all these are single-handed
woven. And they give each one a name. This is Babadouya design. This is called Inchemfre. But you see that in Chemfre, from this point to this point, and that point to that was same size, only that they have
They've
crossed it or divided it into 3 parts.
Yes.
And they call it in Chemfre, they give each design a name.
So in this case, every block has a name.
Every block has a name. And depending on how they combine the design, this is Babadua and Chemfre, Achem, they combine each one to create a pattern. And they give the pattern also a name. So, Ashanti woven materials are abstract designs.
Very different.
And they give these designs traditional names and significance. They attach to it. The Nana who ordered a particular cloth or accepted that cloth would say, I'm going to this occasion and I want the cloth like this, and they will name the cloth relating to that occasion.
Of the occasion.
Yeah. So Ashanti's Kente cloth or design are unique. The Elvis, for example, they would make a human hand for this block here, a human, the palm. They're so good in creating images. They create your face or nose or eye, hand to make a block. But if you look at a block like this, it's a complete hand. But if you look at the back, you don't see the hand properly. You see it's a reverse. So it makes the Ashanti's woven material quite different.
Yeah.
Ever's traditional woven materials. Now you go to Bombay, there's a lot of Evers out there who are copying the Ashantis. A lot of them are there now who have copied the Ashanti way of weaving cloth. And they're doing good too. But they have switched from their traditional style of woven by creating images like a hand or a sword or a spear or a tree or even letters and characters. They create images, explicable images. The Ashantis don't have explicable images. They create image and give it a name. And also both front and back are identical. Ever's traditional cloth was not like that. Theirs was very close to Igbos. You know, historically they are from Igbo. Yeah, Evers are from that side. Historically, that's where they come from. So they came with their traditional weaving techniques. But these days, you know, everybody is weaving Kente. You go to London, there's a lady who has about 21 looms.
In London?
In London, yes. I used to correspond with her.
Wow.
Yeah. She had about 21 looms at the time, this 90s, weaving and teaching people how to weave. And there are Americans also who have come to Ashanti to buy looms and also weaving. They came to Bombay to learn how to weave. And they're doing pretty well. So it is now everywhere. But the question is why? The reason is that the philosophy of the cloth is such that it has significance. The Shantis can have significance and meaning attached to it. Every pattern, several designs will be piled together in a woven process. When they finish, they give it a name, a title. Yeah.
That corresponds to occasions.
That corresponds to specific occasions. So, everybody into it. Now, because of its significance, others who are not Ashantis, especially our brothers and sisters in diaspora, America, they have lost the traditional identity of the black image, you know. So they are so anxious to learn. They want to show that they are part of the African tradition, and they have accepted Kente as a symbolic cloth, which when you put on, everybody will know that you are aware of yourself, even though you have been coded with other traditions, but you are
But
really
the moment you get close to the Kente, you know you are home.
you're home, you're back home, you know. There have been so many stories. A lawyer in a court, had a Kente strip around the neck, and the judge told
Then it
him,
has to take it off.
go off and take it off, because it will have influence on the jury.
So now this brings this question. Did you think the Kente cloth was specifically made to make the Ashanti kingdom very great?
Well, Ashantis have always been proud to be different. You know, do you know that if you are not an Ashanti in the olden days, you're called Manfreni?
Yeah.
Manfreni is anybody who is not an Ashanti. Manfreni means a mixed person, or someone who is not
Like an immigrant, something like that.
who is not complete, who is not one of us.
You're not 100%.
We are the 100% people. You know, the Ashantis have that pride, but of course they are not 100%. They are just like any black person. But it makes you feel proud when you're wearing Kente. You are kind of identifying yourself
As an Ashanti.
as an Ashanti or an African. These days it's an
More
African.
African.
Yeah, it's not really an Ashanti. So it is an identity of all of us. In my shop in America, I used to go to work with my Kente cloth. You come to see me in my office with my Kente cloth.
And then they will love it, especially
Oh
the
man,
whites.
they come and say, "Wow, man, we love it." You know, Americans. So it was so great, and I used to go to schools to talk about it. Go to radio, WLIB, go to black radios and talk. Even Queen's TV, I was on it sometime. You know.
Would you say the Kente cloth promote cruelty? Like when you said the nest of kin system, when in the book you said the nest of kin system, when if I am a weaver and I make this cloth, they will have to kill me, and I will have to have somebody in line so I don't make the same cloth for the king.
Well, that part is very ancient. What I was trying to say was that when a weaver has been accepted to weave a specific pattern for a king, it was not expected for the weaver to repeat the same, nor to make the same cloth
For any other person.
any other person. In fact, it used to be a huge tradition that when the king is sitting in a ceremony, the king's people go around to see if there's anybody wearing the same cloth as the king is wearing. The king is unique. You can't copy the king.
Okay.
But it's not today. Now all the kings are wearing the same crown the Ashanti king is wearing. All the hand braces. They're wearing the same thing. Those days, man, you were executed. You can't pretend to be the king. But it's all history.
So with that system, I'm kind of interested in that. So with that system, so before somebody will accept I'm going to weave for the king, he has to also be thinking about his death date.
Those days, yes, but these days,
And they were pride in it.
yeah, I'm the king's weaver.
Wow.
And sometimes to guarantee that this person will never duplicate this winning person, the person will be executed. He will just vanish from scene. Such that the king is the only one who has to present himself in the public with that particular clothing.
Me, the sign of authority.
Well, this is what the elders, Nana Kosi Jamfi and others, told me, and I
And
believe
then after
that.
Jamfi is the
Yeah, he was.
as at that time.
As at that time, yeah.
1980s,
Oh, these days there's a whole lot of changes. There's a king, there's a person who weaves for Otumfo. He is called Otumfo Kente. And there is another king or a chief who is the custodian of the king's Kente archives.
Okay. Somebody who takes care of.
Yes.
Okay.
There's
okay.
another one who is, most of the popular designs have the chief Yokumain, Kente chief,
Almost all the tribes.
all the tribes, not
All the clans.
clans, yeah. Breakthrough for and
Every clan has its
yeah.
Kente king.
And also in Bonmire, for example, we have Bonmire Kente Hene. Bonmire Kente Hene. There were about 5 different chiefs. I have enumerated them all in the book, yeah. And there are so many types of Kente chiefs now being created as compared to then. These days, there's a division. You know, you cannot just, there's a group of people who are assigned by the Kente chief to design for Ashanti Hene. So they will come out with a design and show it to the Kente chief. For Kente Hene.
So he approves of it. Okay. Okay.
Before.
Let's go with the design.
Yeah, because he is the one who is directly connected with Otunfo or the king, and therefore he knows the occasion that Otunfo is going to wear, so the relevant designs in the Kente pattern will be relevant to that occasion.
Does Kente cloth helps in decision making?
I don't think so.
Because in the book, you made a comment like the Kente cloth when the kings, the cabinet of the king is meeting, and on the position that they stand, they can put on a cloth with a specific name that say if they agree to the discussion on board or they don't.
Yeah, there's a little fault in that. What I meant to say was that if there is a discrepancy or an issue which it's off the traditional course, each one those days will put on the relevant cloth that when you see the person wearing, you know the person.
You know the position of the person.
Yeah, you know exactly that he's anti that point or for that point, or he's a neutral person. So the weavers design all of this. Your kuntumpo intuma, your man tuma.
Okay, now it's making more sense now. So let's say I have an issue with you at the king's palace.
Yes.
And I count in the kuntumpo intuma. I'm trying to tell the king that this guy is lying. Man, this is smart. This is beautiful.
Well, these guys were really smart though.
They were.
Yeah. And I think some cultures do that, but the Ashantis were very particular in what they weave. There are some names given to some cloth. When you think of it, wow.
Abusian Yedom.
Abusian Yedom. Abusian Yedom. Dom means loggerheads or people who have come together to form a group.
Like a multitude.
Yeah, but Abusian Ayedom means that family members have become loggerheads with
it's a problem,
and they have their own stand. And there was something in history somewhere around 1880s when the Ashantis had a problem of nominating a king. Prempe the First, his nomination created a problem. There was a group called Achimbuana, also Yoko people, and
they believed
they are entitled to this throne, and the other side also believed they are entitled.
It was their thing.
Here is the time. I think it was the second time all Yoko family members were fighting each other, literally war. And some had to run away to Ejura and other places. Eventually, Prempe the First and his people won it. And you know what ended up? They ended up in Seychelles.
Yeah.
So I think that was the time when Abusian Yedom cloth was.
So it's very significant to that occasion.
To commemorate that occasion. Yeah. And Kente is always telling stories.
So if you have a foresight, you know what these persons were.
Yeah, but you have to know it.
That's what I'm saying. The
Yeah,
person with the foresight
yeah.
will know it.
Is
Because
that
I didn't know until I read a book.
Yes, I know.
I read a book.
Yeah, people who know it know the significance of the cloth. Incidentally, when you go to Bonjure now and you talk about 20 weavers, very, very few are aware of these histories.
It's depleted. It's because we didn't document them.
Today, it is money. You know, the guy
It's
is
the
from.
business aspect of it.
There's an American who was coming. He needs Kente cloth, man.
make it for
He
him.
wants men's size. The money is what they're looking for. They mixed the patterns. They now call a pattern or Kente cloth. They call it Nsasawa.
Yeah.
It's
Just the ordinary one.
Ordinary ones. No, this strip, a Guinean sun strip, a Yukudom strip, a Pietri strip. This strip, about 4 or 5 different strips.
You told me something about the Abjanasa. Is there? I could tell Abjanasa like when you were out of ideas or something like that, right?
Okay, Kente comes in 2 forms. One is with design, and the other is without design. The ones without design is called Aripan. Aripan means that if you open a Kente cloth like that, from left to right, let's say a strip, I'm holding a strip like this, from left to right. All these designs you see here, you see it in that strip. You see it from end to end. From one end to end. Every part is woven. But here, when you come to this end, for example, this part has no design.
Yes.
You see, this end here, compared to the end, you see that it is not designed.
Oh wow. Yeah, there's difference.
It is different.
Yeah.
When it is designed like this, and the whole strip is fully designed without seeing an example of the first 1 inch, if the entire strip is designed, it's called a Guinea Asa. It means that design is ended, design is finished. There is no part that is on design. This part is on design. So this is not a Guinea Asa.
Okay.
If this part is designed and throughout, every part is designed throughout, it means design, the strip has been fully designed. So a Guinea Asa. A Guinea means design.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the mind.
Well, the key word,
Okay.
Agini is
the brain.
The brain information.
Yeah.
Agini is the design. Wadi Agini pa, he has designed it well. It's different from Agini.
Oh wow! So I thought it was Abjanasa. Like,
well, most people,
ideas.
Yeah.
You run out of ideas.
No, Agini ideas never ended. I mean, Agini, the design means that the person has really tried to design. You see here, if you look at the first design that I'm holding, if you see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 blocks are fully designed.
Yep.
Only the first 1 inch is not designed. But from the 5th, you see that the 6th one is on design, even though it's woven.
Yeah.
But when it is fully woven all through without a design, it means it is a repine.
Okay.
It is undesigned cloth. Do you understand me? Yeah. So Agripine was very famous about 200 years ago. They did not design, fully or any part of it. All of these have names: Babadria, Inchinchim, and Achem. And
that is amazing. So these guys sit down to name every single block.
Oh yeah.
How long do you think it would take them to weave this?
Weave what? The whole cloth?
Yeah, the whole cloth.
Well, it takes about it would take about 10 hours to weave this. Possibly a good weaver can use about 4 hours to weave this strip. 4 inch by 72 inches. Men's size is 72 inches wide, you know.
And then let's say if the average is, let's say, 5 hours.
Yeah, yeah. And also,
that's a lot of hours.
Another thing that has recently developed is that they don't weave the traditional size 4-inch, 4.5-inch width strips. They don't do that anymore because of time and money. You know, this whole cloth will take approximately possibly 1 month to finish this cloth.
The cloth must be expensive.
It is expensive. It is expensive, but considering the time and what is involved in woven,
it's worth it.
It's worth it, yeah.
Especially when it brings the, you know, the African in you and the prestige that it has.
Sometimes when you look at the cloth, you say, "Wow, how did he come up with this design?" You know, the youth is trying to make changes, but the trend these days is sadly changing from traditional Kente to something else.
When we are missing it with.
They call something Obama designs. They're changing the cloth so much from the traditional cloth to something new. They think it's necessary, but you can't avoid progress.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
This is one area I think the black person is progressive.
It's progressive, and now the neurons are working.
The neurons.
So how do you connect the law of identity to the black Americans? They connect the iron law of identity. You said something like
yes,
that.
Yes.
Law of identity.
Yes, Amaya, he's an incredible person. The iron law of identity, I've used that term to explain that all humans, I think it happens in all organic matters, that each organic matter attempt to exhibit its identity. Whether it is legit or not, we try to do that. Animals have been doing that, humans have been doing that. And when you are stripped of your natural identity, there will come a time by all means that you will try to reclaim that natural identity. Somehow when you do it, you feel good that you see yourself as you. You know, that's why I use that word, iron law of identity, meaning that it doesn't matter where you're born or raised or wherever you're coming from. The identity, something that identifies you, will always haunt you until you actually come to it. And
I believe in that, because I remember I wore something African to work one day, and all the African Americans, they were fighting me for it.
You see that?
They were all fighting me for it.
Oh yeah.
So I had to go and buy some for them.
Yes.
The moment there's this connection between the cloth and, you know, the African American. The moment they see it, they're like, oh, I want it.
Yeah, it's something. These days, I don't think the iron law is not working. It's working, but the youth of today, they're copying sometimes wrongly. Look at your beard. It's an identity, but sadly, it is not a racial identity or ethnic identity. It is an identity of the youth.
We're making our own identity.
Yeah, the youth appear to show that I'm not old or I'm not senile, or, you know, so they grow beard to be like their peers. So you have an identity.
So you mean that it's kind of shifting the culture a little bit?
Well, it kind of creating a different cultural trend. But the one I'm talking about is very important though, because there are a kind of people who have not been nurtured to be their natural self. that is what others would call, they've been decoded to be something which is alien. And when they become adult, they realize that they lost something, so they want to reclaim it. The Sankofa attitude, I use that word in my book. And Kente, in this sense, is a very magnificent cloth, a magnificent edifice that we black people, doesn't matter where you come from or born, you see that when you have Kente, the true image of the black personality
comes
up and you feel good. You know, in my store in New York, when I was operating this store, when I'm wearing Kente from home, it's only a few meters away. Kente 12 I'm wearing to my store, and I'm walking majestically like me. Yeah, it's me.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, and I feel great. Somehow there's
the prestige.
I think that's the right word. So it is a cloth that transmits that image very clearly, vividly, and I mean, you can't dispute it. Mud cloth from Mali has a similar thing, but I haven't seen people in Mali exhibiting it as much as...
Kente is kind of international now,
because
we have superstars like Nas,
yes,
who wear it to stage to perform.
Yes. I was amazed to see this at UN building. I went inside the UN building one day and I saw a big Kente cloth right on the face when you enter.
You see, and you look at it like, damn, this is me, this is my people.
Well, it's so great. I took pictures. I don't know if it's still there. You know, it makes you feel you are part of this world.
Yeah, something great.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we are not doing better with the self. We are exhibiting our pride in this, but I think we should do more.
But I think there's something going on lately, like almost all the youth, when they are getting married, everybody want to be in a Kente.
Regardless of where the person...
You see, so now we are patronizing. Back in the day, you know, young guys think, I would rather want to wear something, you know.
Yeah, tuxedos.
Yeah, tuxedos. Now everybody want to go traditional. I want to be associated with this. And I think we are doing well a little bit.
In that sense, yes.
Because you go online right now, you see beautiful couples pictures, wedding pictures, and you see all this. I had a friend who was married to a white guy, and the guy had to do the Kente pin, and it was very beautiful. You see, so I believe now the Kente cloth is regaining its prestige that it lost a couple of years ago.
It also tends to be kind of seasonal. Sometimes for 10-year period, you see Kente is booming everywhere. And it dies out slowly for about 2, 3, 5 years. Then suddenly it comes back again, you know.
Do you think it's something that the government have to look at?
Which government are you talking about?
I'm talking about our government. Because Kente is something prestige. The whole world wants it. Almost everybody likes it when you see it. Do you think the government have to pump money into the production of the Kente cloth?
You mean Ghana government?
Ghana government, yeah.
I don't think so. Ghana government can promote the industry somehow to help the weavers to have an assembly or kind of I'm trying to promote establishment of Kente Museum now. When I was returning home from America, my aim was to build a Kente Museum. All the classic designs, patterns will be assembled out there with their history attached, how the loom started and now what it is. I want to do that. Government in this sense can get involved. Not necessarily government doing it. I don't believe in government doing it, but I believe in government encouraging people to do it. If people need loans, for example, government should arrange with the banks for easier, cheaper loans for private people to do it. But government promotion is okay, not actually government getting involved directly. No, it's not government business. So there's a lot that need to be done. But in this book, really, and this is very important. This book, I'm dealing with the actual history of the cloth. There are about 6 different authors, all of them from foreign, but we should thank them for doing it for us. They've done extra work. From 1920s coming. They've done excellent work. But what I have done here is to tell the recorded history of the cloth from early 17th century. But the date of the recording that we can have evidence to support is from 1812 coming. There's a guy called Thomas Bordage. Bordage was sent to Ashanti Kingdom to investigate the kingdom, the rulers of the kingdom.
From which country?
From Britain, England. Bordage was sent by the group of merchants at the time who were trading along this coast to come to find out why it is so difficult to trade with the people at that side of Africa. And they found out that the interruptions of trade was going on because of the Ashantis. Ashantis were so popular at the time that nobody could challenge them. And would you believe that 75% of the present day Ghana map, 75% was controlled by the Ashantis? So you could see their power at the time.
They were powerful.
So Bordage came to spend 5 months in Kumasi. And the book is called Mission from Cape Coast Castle to Ashanti, written by Thomas Bordage in 1819 or 1817. And this man documented everything he saw in Ashanti. Everything, recorded everything every day in his diary, what he saw. And he saw a lot of people weaving Kente cloth. That's the first time someone has actually recorded people weaving Kente cloth.
And this is the 1812.
1812, that's the time he came, but the book was published about
later.
4 or 5 years later. 1812. It means that there is a record of Kente linking with Ashantis from 1812, the first decade of 19th century. It's recorded. So
this is history.
This is history. The book is available. I have a copy in my library here. Did I show it to you?
No.
Oh, it's there. It's a thick book. So I read everything that Bordage has written. And I thought the public should know that this cloth is authentically Ashanti. It cannot be from anywhere. Nowhere. And the way he described seeing someone actually weaving the cloth, someone wearing it, and he said he wished he could get some of this cloth and display it, in a British museum. It's so magnificent, so beautiful. This Bordage, the way he explains it, is unbelievable. He says that in the book that we think these people are barbarians. I wish British people will come here to see the people we'll call barbarians, how civilized they are. Isn't it incredible?
It is incredible.
In 1812. 1812.
And this is written, documented.
Documented. And Bordage came with 4 other people. One of them is called Hutchinson. Hutchinson, when Bordage was leaving Kumasi, he left Hutchinson to be the representative of Britain. The first British ambassador in this whole area was part of Bordage's group. His name is Hutchinson. And Hutchinson's diary is available. He recorded so much. So there's written evidence that this cloth cannot come from anywhere.
From the Ashanti.
We had two guys who lived in Ever area, Friedman and others. They lived there so many years. When the Ashantis fought with the Evers, they captured these guys and brought them to Ashanti. And they were even amazed to see the Ashanti's cloth. It wasn't available in Ever. So I'm surprised why people are claiming, oh, the Evers, invented the cloth and Ashantis are copying it. Evers are good in copying something on a woven material. They're excellent at that. But the Ashanti's cloth are abstract designs, totally different. Front and back, exactly identical. We should not mix the two cultures for any reason.
Yeah, it is very important to differentiate them.
Yes, it's a distortion of history.
Yeah.
Now somehow, some people want to say that sometimes they say the Dagomba people even came to teach Ashantis how to weave.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the book. Yeah, the Dagombas, Ashanti king was, he took charge of the Dagombas.
Yeah.
And he saw the Dagomba people with togas, this fugu.
Togas,
Yeah. And it's believed that he was amazed, and he asked the Dagombas if he could get people from there to come to teach us how to weave. But this history is distortion. Because the time he's talking about is around 1830s.
And Bodies has already
recorded this. So, I don't know, history is full of mess.
You think it's just that people want to claim it because it's a beautiful thing?
Yeah, the Dagombas are good. They have their own type of woven material. Every culture in the world, like I started with, have their own type of woven materials. That is theirs. Why should we think that one nation or one culture thought this culture had to weave this? Some people even think the Ashantis they learned this from the Egyptians. There were travelers and there were traders. They went to Egypt and
they saw it.
This is bullshit, man. There's so much trash going on. Anyway, so far this is Kente cloth, and I think its history is very significant, and I think people will have time to read my books. I have said a lot about this cloth. Everything you need to know is in my books.
And then where can we get the books again? On Amazon? You said on Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon has it, Google has it, Yahoo, and my publishers, Ex Libris, which is part of Random Group, or go to Random Books. You put my name there, you see my books.
And you see all the books.
You see all the books.
5 books.
All the 5 books. Incidentally, you can also get the Kindle version, which is about $5 or so.
I think it's $3.99.
Yeah, but I suggest it's better to get the actual.
Because this book has a lot of pictures in it. A lot of beautiful pictures like these.
Yeah,
this book must be expensive though.
Well, it cost me so much money.
Like pictures like the patterns of the Kente cloth.
I have 198 pictures in the book, quite a lot. And I think it's very interesting, and I'm proud I did it. I think a black person or an African, or for that matter an Ashanti, has to write this.
Are you still thinking about the museum? I think it will be a good thing.
Well, it's an excellent idea, and myself and my co-author, Sebun Susafukantanka, we are working on it. We're going to launch Kente Festival somewhere in September, and we're going to raise money for that. I think it's very important that we get a museum, especially at Bongre. We will do it. It will come to being. Yeah, I hope I'll be around.
You'll be around. Thank you, sir.
And 75 years, man.
You kick it. You got like 10 years.
Well, I'm getting with this and it's not working well. The box is not working well. A lot of things I've written that it's difficult to.
And that's the reason why people should get the book so they can read it for themselves.
Yeah.
Alright, this is the Kente Cloth History and Culture E Asamoah and Osebo Susafo.
Yeah.
And this is the Kente Cloth Introduction to History.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for your help.
You're welcome.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you, sir.
I hope most of the youngsters will get involved in this, and
I believe they will,
Yeah,
especially when
yeah,
this go
yeah.
international.
yeah, don't give up.
I'm not going to.
There's going to be a lot of hassles on the way, but don't give up.
Alright, sir.
Don't take it as smooth ride. No, you don't have problems. But the more problems you have, the more education you get, so that you don't repeat the errors you made earlier on. You're going to make it.
Thank you, sir.
All the
Appreciate
best.
it.
Good wishes.
All right.
Yeah.